Welcome to Divine Hand for another soulful, insightful, spiritual message. Take what resonate, leave what doesn't. Collective. I pre-pulled some cards for our convenience. With that being said, let's jump right in, okay? So the first card I pulled was the universe removed what couldn't hold your heart gently, okay? So that is basically, divine intervention coming through, okay? This is breaking up a connection that you are emotionally attached to in some type of way. I get that card a lot. That pops out my deck. So this is a message that need to be reinforced. Okay, somebody needs to continuously hear this, right? Um, what you were holding on to could not have been nurturing or protecting your heart the way you needed it to, right? So the universe is stepping in and removing this person, okay? Because you could not release them yourself. And this is because you have love for this person. And love is truly blind, okay? Like, this is why we have to be like in the Queen of Swords energy, mind over heart, you know what I'm saying? To like really see the truth of it all, right? And then so it can free you in some type of way, okay? It can free you in many type of ways, okay? So the card I pulled was the Four of Pentacles, and this is just saying like you're holding too hard, too tightly onto someone or something, right? This can also represent money. So like when you hold on too tight onto something, you block the flow of it, right? The energetic flow of it, right? So if you holding on too tight to a person, then you're gonna block them. It's gonna eventually not work because you're holding on too tight, okay? Or too tight to the outcome. Okay, of it is what I'm getting here, right? So that's basically, and it makes you it's like it gives you a false sense of stability, okay, is what I'm getting here, right? When you're holding on too tight. All right. And this is like you guarding yourself energetically as well. You know what I'm saying? Clinging to, what feels safe, okay? Even when it has a limit, even when the time gonna run out, Um, money, and all of that. All of that. Money is meant to circulate. So you're not so really supposed to hold on to it, but people do hoard money, okay? All right, so the next card I have is your heart clings where the soul feels unsafe. Okay, so like when your heart and your soul, this is what I'm getting intuitively. Like when your heart and your soul, right, is not aligned, this brings you an imbalance. Okay, and you need to be freed from that imbalance. Okay, so like if we're talking about love, a love situation, or just any situation that you put your heart into, right? And you're clinging to it, right? And it's, your soul is feeling unsafe because your soul knows what your heart don't know yet, or what your heart failed to accept, right? So when you're clinging to something, right, because you love this person so much, or you care about this person so much, or you just want this to work, right? But your soul know that situation is unsafe for you, right? Down the line, right? Down the line, it's going to be emotionally disruptive towards you, for you. Okay. So, this is about an imbalance, right? Right here. This is about getting in balance. And how do we do that? We got the King of Swords. And so the King of Swords is very direct, very blunt. Say what will cuss you at nasty words. Okay. And really not, you don't have to say nasty words. You could just be really direct in your approach, okay? When you're conversating and speaking to people, right? This can be like fast action too, right? Like just sharp ass words, right? Like slicing it up, right? Collected. I mean, I know because I could be in that energy. I could tap into that energy real fast. You know what I'm saying? When I feel like, you trying to play games with me, right? Trying to play mental games with me. Like, it's like, I mean, how the audacity, like, what? Okay. And then I'm going off, right? But I try to stay emotionally balanced. You know what I'm saying? So, and still see the truth. Okay. So this king right here, this king, we could be talking about an air sign, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. This person just comes in with sharp ass words. Okay. And this person may be in mental overdrive. You could be dealing with someone like that. Like they got so much going on that their mind is just like, it's a sad place to be, right? And this person needs to be free from that. as well. Okay, they need to like figure out a system, figure out something where they can free their mind. So because that will cause sickness in the mind. You will manifest sickness in the mind by having your mind in overdrive. And this is why I try to stay in the energy of like, I'm cutting it off. Like I'm cutting it off. Okay. And so let's move on to the next card. So I have false light, false person. Okay, so that's self-explanatory. This is like a wolf in sheep clothing. They speak nice, they say they religious, they say they spiritual or something like that, but they a false person, right? They live out their ego, right? They do things from the ego standpoint. Okay, um, and this is supposed to be a person. They deceptive, right? They have hidden motives. They do things, straight from the ego, but they present themselves as, a loving, caring, nurturing, type of person, right? A good person, right? So it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so Spirit said, we got the death card in the upright. Man, you got to end that, right? And sometimes it's hard for us to end something that we cling into, and we clearly see that this person is a false person. Okay, person, place, a thing, right? But I'm thinking we're talking about a masculine, right? That's in the King of Swords energy. We could be talking about Aquarius. We could be talking about any air sign, right? But it doesn't have to be an air sign. It could be an earth sign. It could be a water sign. Okay. Yeah. So this is Scorpio energy here, so it's like you brought something to an ending with someone, or you're needing to, right? That could not hold, that cannot be undone. They can't come back and whisper sweet nothings in your ear and get back in your energy. Okay. No, you need to totally cut this person off because they playing games, right? And clearly there's a false light and there's a false, this person is false. Okay. You need to, so you can transform, right? So you can transform, and shed that old skin, right? Someone need to hear that. Now we have the Three of Swords, and can be heartbreak. This person may have had you in a third party situation. Okay, this was like clearing those emotional wounds, right? Through heartbreak, betrayal, painful truth, right? The truth that's painful, but you still got to see the truth, whether it's painful or not, right? And get through it, heal from it, right? This is not no denying, okay? And some people will deny exactly what is fuck going on just to play with you, just to stay in your energy, girl. They will just do it, right? This is definitely a lover situation. We got the lovers, and then we got the judgment card under that. So that's just under judgment. And then we got the sun card. So something is being illuminated, right? So then we got the King of Cups, okay? And so this is like, you need to be emotionally mature. This person may need to be emotionally mature regarding love, okay? Regarding any situation. Have compassion for yourself, right? And then some self-control. Don't let this person like take you and put you in this energy. We got two kings on the board. I say queens. They might be men that act like women, okay? We got two kings on the board, right? So the King of Swords is more of like a cutthroat, right? Just like, saying sharp ass words, you know what I mean, to hit a person's soul, right? And then the King of Cups is like having more compassion about it. Say what you want, but have more compassion about it, right? Is what Spirit's trying to say, right? Then we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And this is like releasing from that mental torment, right? So something that got you in your head, sleep, sitting up all night, stuff like that. It could be with a King of Cups. It could be, a lover, someone that brought you a love situation, someone you trying to start a relationship with, it looks like, right? Just releasing, that mental anguish, okay? And then, so you can have a new passionate beginning, right? A new, we got the Ace of Wands, right? So you can create, or have a spiritual ignition, like a spark, okay? So this is like a fresh opportunity filled with excitement and momentum, okay? And this could be a fire sign we talk about. And of course, we talking about, so you can have a new passion beginning with a lover situation, whether you are reconciling on confirmation, thank you spirit, or this is someone